What will you do if a country discovers evidence of life on Mars? But who will carry it out? The United States and China are the only rivals vying for Mars. However, the US has modified its intentions recently. China, on the other hand, is still devotedly pursuing its goal. The space industry in China has also significantly improved. Therefore, will China be the first nation to discover evidence of life on Mars? That will be revealed later in this video. We'll talk about how China will be the first nation to put a person on Mars in this video. Let's get going, and human space travel will never come to a stop. The area is infinite, and the human won't stop researching until he discovers where it ends. The sky was the limit back when people could only make educated guesses about the universe. But now everyone is aware that it is undoubtedly not. Unknown truths are concealed within the folds of space in abundance. Although humans are exploring every corner of space, Mars is their top goal. It's the only planet where evidence for the former existence of humans has been found. Additionally, it is the only planet where it is anticipated that humans will eventually reside. Whether or if there will be life on Mars is not yet certain. Humans, however, have long been interested in unraveling the enigma of previous Martian life. And slowly, discovering if there is life on Mars is everyone's desire. Although there has been a lot of study, no one has examined Mars in detail. Additionally, only a few countries have had the good fortune to study or capture images of Mars. Prior to 2021, the United States was the only nation to have successfully landed a spacecraft on Mars. The United States has a long history in NASA. In addition, its space industry is well established. But out of nowhere, China becomes the lone nation to independently develop its space sector. Although it was remarkable, the mission we shall cover in this video was more so. The US has devised every method possible to prevent China from expanding its space sector, but when China wants to, it knows how. China's historic arrival on Mars in 2021 disproved all US claims to be the leader in the space sector. Amazingly, China performed better than the United States in its first attempt. Precision was used in the landing of Tianwen-1, and the photographs that the world saw as a result showed the success of China. However, before we go any further, you need to be aware of the project. Are you enjoying the video, please? If so, kindly hit the like button, spread the word, and subscribe to our channel to see more content on China's rise to power and global impact. Let's go on. The true mystery right now is how China managed to land its first rovers on Mars. China was developing several spacecraft and programs, but in 2020, it debuted its Tianwen to the world for the first time. China sent Tianwen-1 into orbit for the first time in August. Even though it was China's first spacecraft launch, everything went as planned. Tianwen-1 successfully completed its initial orbit. The second orbit was then flawlessly made in September 2020. The third orbit was successfully completed in October 2020. It was evident that the gadget was now prepared for its actual voyage, which began in 2021 when the Tianwen-1 headed toward Mars. China's Tianwen-1 spacecraft captured a photo of Mars during its fourth orbit of the planet in February. A period of celebration was in order. After then, China began to get photos every day, but leader Tianwen started sending photos that garnered notice on a global scale. The water trapped in ice on Mars was seen in up-close images of the planet's surface. This was the first accomplishment completed by Tianwen-1 without touching down on the surface of Mars. The Tianwen-1 finally touched down on Mars in May 2021. Nobody anticipated the precise landing that was accomplished. According to NASA, the mission's most challenging component is the landing on Mars. But China skillfully landed the Tianwen-1. China subsequently claimed that the Tianwen-1 could move and travel under any circumstance. It is constructed flawlessly enough to withstand all the extreme Martian conditions. One can first tolerate weather conditions in Tianwen. It can withstand extreme temperatures without experiencing any technological problems. This Tianwen-1 may freely walk over Mars since it can withstand sandstorms. However, the reason China sent Tianwen-1 to Mars is now in question. What is the goal of this mission? If humans have ever lived in any form on Mars, Chinese scientists must know. They will be able to see what happened to Mars later on in addition to how it will assist them comprehend the past. On Mars, the earliest traces of life should be found, and once China learns more about it, It will permanently alter how people think about human life in space. In addition to this, a contest to see which nation can learn the most about Mars is also underway. According to US claims, it will be the first nation to send people to Mars. However, after seeing China's achievements, it appears that the US is only fantasizing. China is actively developing its space sector rather than merely making plans to do so. It will be suggested once Tianwen-1 returns if China will be the first nation to send a person to Mars. 2 years before NASA's spacecraft, it will make a return. It implies that Tianwen-1 will wrap up its study early and provide its findings before NASA. So the issue is, which nation will be the first to discover evidence of life on Mars? You must understand the state of the competing space industry nations in order to respond to this issue. Only China and the United States are now vying to be the first nation to discover Mars. As a result, you need to be familiar with the goals of both countries. While the United States of America is kept busy with a number of different activities, China is continuously working on its mission to Mars. A few years ago, the United States of America said that it planned to be the first nation to gather information about Mars. There were some significant claims made. However, since Trump entered office, the purpose behind the space business has evolved significantly. The United States of America is interested in gaining further knowledge regarding the Moon. Its primary focus is on gaining an understanding of the Moon, followed by Mars. The United States of America has recently said that it has the goal of controlling the whole world. But with the technology that they now possess, this will take more than a century to accomplish. Only the Moon itself. In this regard, China is astute. What it must be aware of is crystal clear to it at this point. It is conscious of the fact that Mars must serve as the place of origin, whether or not they are conscious of the existence of a life before this one. They are making progress on it as a result. On the other hand, the Chinese Tianwen spacecraft is more advanced than the American spacecraft that has previously successfully landed on Mars. Additional funding for spacecraft in the amount of $5 billion is required from the United States. Since Mars has not been there, it is the reason. Recent events have shown that priority should be given to the United States. As a result, one may argue that China will be the first country to get more information on Mars. It is possible that the intelligence that Tianwen-1 will offer to China upon its return may cause the United States to second-guess their decision. Many NASA specialists agree that China has made significant progress in achieving its space ambitions in recent years. This exemplifies how far ahead of the curve China is in terms of their technological development. China is in the process of putting all of its plans into reality, and it won't be long until they send their first human to Mars. Do you feel that the Chinese space mission Tianwen-1 has caused NASA and the United States to experience fear? Will they start focusing their efforts on Mars like China has been doing? Since China does not invest in items that serve no purpose, it is possible that they have made some surprising discoveries. Share your opinion in comments. Also, click on this video to watch about another shocking project.